The bad news is I got laid off. The good news is I'm actually okay about it. I used to work as the head of content for a developer matching service. I live in Lagos, Nigeria, and the company was in Germany. So I was earning significantly more than I would have earned if I was working for a Nigerian company. And then towards the end of November, I lost my job. How did all of this happen? To be honest, I should have expected it. It just seemed like the parent company was going towards a new focus, right? Basically focusing on a new product, focusing less on the product I was working on. So obviously there was no need for my team. So my whole team was laid off. And what did I do when this happened? The first thing I did was have a really good dirty December. That was the first thing I did. If I got you for corner, I'll jump you up back through How did I feel about being laid off? So usually I'm a crybaby. I'm very emotional, so every little thing typically makes me cry. I expected myself to be in bed for like 2 weeks straight, not get out of bed, keep crying. Even my parents expected me to react that way, to be honest. But surprisingly, I was fine about it. I still haven't cried till now. I'm just taking everything like really well. But I did feel a bit hurt, and that's because my career, I don't want to say my career has been easy so far, but I've had a very, very fast moving career basically. I'm only 5 years in, and I, like I said, I was head of content, so that's like quite quick, right? So it just took me by surprise. Like I have never ever experienced anything close to this, and that's one of the things my mom was worried about as well. She was like, you've had a really easy career, and she was very worried about me, that like, oh, this happened, how am I going to take it? But like I said, surprisingly I was fine. But I did have to keep like reciting affirmations and reciting scripture, and basically just telling myself that my worth is not tied to my job. Basically, I am more than my job. So because I lost my job, because the company did not see that they, or did not feel that they needed my team anymore, does not mean that I am less of a person than I was when I was doing the job. So that was something I had to like constantly recite, and to make myself feel better. So the number one question I'm sure you all want answered in this video is, what's my plan? Like, what am I doing next? To be very honest, I am not sure if I want another full-time job. And I know when my mommy watches this, she's going to kill me. But I am not sure if I want another full-time job. I liked my job, but that's because I like what I was doing. Like I really like being a content marketer. I really like doing content marketing. But if I was being really, really honest, I was starting to get burnt out. I was starting to get very tired, very exhausted by the job. I didn't have time for myself. I didn't have time for hobbies. I didn't have time for friends and family. Like my life was like work, 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 work. Even though I was working remotely, but like my life was work. I feel like that even made things worse because I was working remotely, so there was no like go to the office at 9 a.m., come back by 5 p.m. and leave work at work. My work was at home, so I basically didn't have time to do anything. It really affected like my personal life. That particular job really affected my personal life. You're probably wondering, if I don't want another full-time job, then what am I going to do? Right? So before I got that job, I used to do a little bit of consulting. So basically I used to be like a fractional content marketer or fractional content marketing manager for early stage startups, companies where like they're just starting and they're just trying to figure out like, you know, how to set up their whole content marketing project or program. I would then come in and do all of that for them, but like on a part-time basis, and I would have like multiple clients I was working with. So I'm considering going back there. I've actually already have signed like one client. I'm starting with them next month. So that is something that I'm really, really trying to figure out. Like, okay, is this what I want? Do I just want to like be a fractional head of content, you know, and just like help multiple companies at a time figure out content marketing? I'm thinking about that. Another thing I definitely want to do is content creation. And I find this very funny because before I lost my job, I was basically in charge of my founder's YouTube, in charge of my founder's content. Basically, he was creating content on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and so on and so forth. Like, we were doing the whole founder-led content thing, and I was in charge of running all of that, from like pre-production to production to like handing over to video editors for post-production and so on. And I was always telling myself that, like, guys, people are like really doing well with YouTube, people are making money with YouTube, people are having fun with YouTube. And I was like, if God forbid I ever lost my job, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I said this like at least more than 5 times than I can remember. If I ever lose my job, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And then I lost my job. So I was like, is God trying to give me a sign? Is God trying to tell me you need to start a YouTube channel? Because yeah, I guess I just kept, confessing it, and God was like, I bet, let's get this YouTube thing rolling. So that's basically why I'm here, or one of the reasons why I'm here. I feel like I'm going to really enjoy it. So that's one. And then secondly, I just feel like God is giving me a sign. So yeah, I've been thinking about taking content creation seriously for a while now, but I feel like I've always been waiting for like the perfect time, the perfect setup, the perfect maybe camera, the perfect lighting, yeah, the perfect editing skills. I've just been waiting for like everything to be perfect, and I need to just realize that like that's never going to happen, and it's better to just start and build along the way. So that's aside, content creation is like another thing I am doing right now. And then lastly, I started another business. I say another because I used to have two businesses before that I closed down. They were product businesses. One was a swimwear business, and one was a like hair care business, like a natural hair care business thing. I shut them down because I don't know. I guess I just didn't have time for them at the time. I didn't have the time and the resources to really invest in them. So I shut them down to focus on my career. And that's very funny because now I am kind of like deprioritizing my career to focus on other things that give me joy. So I also started a bridal styling business with my best friend called Styling. So yeah, I've pretty much always been fascinated about like brides, and bridal designers, like what brides like, traditional wear, stuff like that. I've always been fascinated. And then I was like, how can I basically put this fascination into like a money making venture? And bridal styling just seemed perfect, right? So yeah, my friend and I started a bridal styling business, and we already have our first bride, that we're working on right now. So we're working on her looks, speaking to designers, coming up with mood boards, and it's been really, really exciting, just like doing something very new and refreshing compared to like the last few years that I've used to focus on tech content marketing. So it's pretty much still a new year, right? Like, we're still in January, so it's still a new year. This is the best time for people to like, start new things, pick up new habits, like try and change their lives in quotes. So I don't have anything better to do, right? Because I don't have a job. So I am also like picking up a bunch of habits this year, and doing like the whole like New Year resolution, stroke 2025 goals, stroke like habits I'm trying to form to like improve the quality of my life this year. Number one habit that I'm trying to, improve on this year is content creation. I've already spoken about it. I tried content creation on TikTok a couple of times. Like, I'm consistent for like 2 weeks, I stop, right? So this year I'm pretty much trying to build a habit around this. Like, I'm trying to not make it seem like work. I'm trying to like build it into the like framework of my life basically. So YouTube, TikTok. I'm not really big on Instagram because I don't know, Instagram just seems like everybody there is, will I say like inauthentic, or like it just seems like such an app that you need to like just put on your shoe for people. TikTok and YouTube seem like a lot more like my vibe, like a lot more authentic. I'm also creating a lot of content on LinkedIn these days. I feel like I don't have an option there because I mean, whether or not I want a full-time job or I want to like pick up some consulting clients, I need to be active on LinkedIn. Like I said, I don't really have a choice there. And then creating content on LinkedIn is also like so much easier than on like TikTok or YouTube because there's so much effort that goes into like scripting, shooting, editing, things like that. LinkedIn, you can just pick up your phone, just write something real quick, like, and post it, and it gets a bunch of like, impressions and comments and stuff like that. People DM you to ask if like, oh yeah, do you offer these services and so on and so forth. That's what I'm doing right now on LinkedIn, and it's working for me. Like I said, I already have one client. Still posting more and looking to onboard more clients, but at least so far that's going good. um TikTok and YouTube, like I mentioned, they're a lot more complex, and that's why I'm trying to like build it into like, I'm trying to like take my tripod with me everywhere, like film everything, and then try and build like an editing habit. So maybe like dedicate one day of my week and say like, oh, maybe every Thursday or every Friday or every, I don't know, whatever day, I'm going to just edit. Like that's my editing day. Maybe also pick another day for like filming videos, filming talking head videos, like videos like this basically. So I can tell myself like, okay, every Saturday in the morning before I go to the gym or after I'm back from the gym, I'm going to film, right? But yeah, I'm trying to just like build it into my normal routine, so it's much easier than what I was trying to do before, especially with the editing, because I feel like the filming part is easy. The editing part is the hard part, right? So yeah, that's with content creation. The second habit that I'm trying to pick up this year, maybe not pick up but rather like revive this year, is reading. I've always been a reader. Like when I was little, that was how like I basically built a really, really good relationship with my dad. My dad would buy books for me and he would read them first and then he would give me to read, and then he would make like, basically we would sit down and discuss the book, or he would tell me to summarize the book or something like that. So that's how my dad and I got like close, because there was over books, right? So I've always been a big reader. I always used to read a lot. And then I don't know, lately, maybe since I got into uni, I've been reading less and less and less. I've been going with the whole world with this whole short attention span, always starting books, never finishing them, things like that. I started trying to revive this habit last year, and I was able to read 10 books last year, which I think is really, really good, right? Compared to like 2 3 years before last year where I wasn't reading any books at all. Like if it wasn't academic, I wasn't interested. So now I'm reading a lot more books. Fiction, of course. I'm not a big fan of non-fiction. All those motivational self-help books, they're not really for me. So fiction books, specifically African literature. So I read 10 books last year. I am trying to double that number this year and read 20 books. I'm already behind track because this is the end of January and I haven't finished one book, but work with me. Just work with me. I am going to meet that goal of 20 books. Work with me. Another habit that I am really, really trying to build this year is going to the gym. And I think people say if you do something for a certain amount of days, it becomes a habit. I can't remember how many days it is, but when I'm editing, I'm going to just like add it down here or something. But yeah, so I feel like the perfect start to build this habit is the whole 75 soft challenge I'm doing. Yes, I said 75 softs, not 75 hard. 75 hard, doing 2 workouts a day, that's just crazy. Not crazy, but I genuinely don't think I can do that. Or maybe at least not at this stage of my life. Maybe I can do 75 softs now, and then when I'm done with 75 softs, I can pick up 75 hard. Maybe. But definitely not now. So 75 softs is pretty much the same thing as 75 hard. The only difference is you're working out just once a day and not twice a day, right? So that works for me. I can work out every day, once a day. The twice a day is where there's a problem, right? So I'm hoping that when I am done with 75 softs, going to the gym every day or almost every day becomes like a habit to me. Like I can't wake up and do anything else if I don't go to the gym, right? In the past, this has been a bit difficult for me because of time. Like I said, in my last job, I barely had time for myself. I'm not really an early riser, to be honest. I'm not an early riser. I'm not a morning person. So morning gym never works for me. And then because of how busy my work is, I could never find the time. Like I could never just be like, oh yeah, it's 5 o'clock. I'm finishing up with work and I'm going to the gym. Like I would always work up till like 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9 or 10, right? And then obviously at that point was there's no time to go to the gym. It's a lot easier now because I don't have a job, so I can go to the gym whatever. Like I can wake up by 9 o'clock in the morning and go to the gym by 9 o'clock in the morning because I don't have a 9 to 5. I don't have like a boss that's going to be messaging me on Slack by 9:30 asking me for one report that they told me to do the day before, right? So it's a lot easier now. A lot easier now. I go to the gym anytime I want. I can get some work done in the morning and go to the gym in the middle of the day at like 12 and be back by 2 and like keep on working, right? So that has really helped. Like I started 75 soft on the 6th of January. So currently, as I'm filming this now, I think today is day 20. So I have 55 more days. That sounds very jarring. 55 more days sounds like that's crazy. But yeah, I have 55 more days, and I think so far I've been doing really well. I have an accountability partner. Munachi, if you're watching this, hi. I have an accountability partner, so we basically like check in with each other, right, and like encourage each other. We're both gym girlies, so that's been really, really good for me. In the spirit of like keeping healthy and like doing more healthy things, right after talking about gym, another habit I want to build this year is eating a lot more home cooked food. I need God to deliver me from the spirit of ordering food. Like I need to, in fact, I need to delete my child deck app. My friend Muna, she actually did this. Like she just deleted all her food delivery apps off her phone. And to be honest, I need to follow in her footsteps if I really want to be serious and just do the same thing. Like I'm just starting to realize that like there's so much that goes into food that is cooked outside your house that usually like increases the calories of stuff, or like you get end up eating like more processed foods, things that can make you break out or make you say I don't know, whatever it's sure, but like basically it's a lot healthier to just eat home cooked food. And to be fair, I'm not a fan of cooking, but I'm pretty good at it. So a lot of the recipes I eat outside, pasta, pizza, whatever, I can actually make at home. It's just laziness. And I just don't want to be that lazy anymore, especially when it comes to food, right? So I need to like not necessarily even say, oh yeah, I'm eating healthy this year, I'm always going to eat vegetables, I'm always going to do this. But if I can just build the habit of always eating at home, like just always telling myself there's rice at home, then yeah, that's just a great habit I want to build. Like always cooking my own food and eating my own food and ordering out less. Next habit is planning and journaling. So I've never been a big planner. I do a lot of my things on the fly. It's in my last job, I started like already building the habits of planning. But to be very honest, it wasn't even just because I wanted to do that. It was because my boss was a very big planner. Like my boss was like a put everything on your calendar type of person, and I used to work directly with him. So it was just very easy to like pick up the habits from him because he was very used to doing it. So he would ask stuff like, oh, why is it not on your calendar? That kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, let me try this out. So I started trying it and I kind of started liking it. And to be very honest, I feel like it was even less about the fact that my day is planned, and it was more about the fact that I would look at my calendar and see all the different like color coded things on my calendar. Like I think I'll add it somewhere here, but like I'll see color coded things on my calendar, like meetings here. I have to create this report here, blah blah blah. Everything was on my calendar and it was color coded and it was cute. So it was always nice to look at, and I feel like that was why I did it. But then it helped me build the habits, and I just want to do a lot more of that this year. So this year, I'm also doing more of like planning on my iPad. I have an iPad and I'm going to do like a lot more digital planning. I also have a digital planner and I use Good Notes. Maybe I'll make a video on that, to be honest. Yes, I will make a video on that. But yeah, so now I do planning. Like I plan every month and every week. I even create like vision boards and like, oh yeah, this is my vision board. These are the things I want to achieve this month, and put everything in like an inspiration board type of thing. Like I said, I think I'll just do a video on this specifically. But yeah, I want to do a lot more of that this year because I feel like it's going to help me make my life more organized, especially because I have a lot of things I want to do with my time this year. Like last year, like I said, it was all about like work. Like my job was my life. I wasn't really doing much else apart from working. But this year, there are a lot more things I want to do. I want to do consulting, I want to do content creation, I want to be a bridal stylist, or rather, I am now a bridal stylist. Those are like three completely like worlds apart, right? So if I'm not planning my time and organizing my life well, I'm going to crash out. So I need to avoid that by planning. Then for journaling, I did a bit of therapy last year before I lost my job. Like I said, that job almost ran me mad. So I did a bit of therapy last year before I lost my job. And one thing my therapist made me pick up was journaling. I feel like there are a lot of things to be grateful for. There might be some things that kind of like, hurt you or make you feel bad in life, but largely there are a lot of things to be grateful for. Like, I'm grateful I have a great family, I have a great brother, I have amazing friends, I have a roof over my head, I have food to eat, I have clothes on my back. Like, there are so many things to be grateful for, right? I could decide to just fixate on the fact that, oh my God, I don't have a job, and like I've not been able to find a job since I lost my job. But there are still like a lot more. Like, at least I'm not out there living out on my own. Like, I still live with my parents. So at least I have a roof over my head and I have free food to eat, right? So, like I said, there are a lot of things to be grateful for. So I'm definitely starting a gratitude journal this year and building up on that habit. The next one is my relationship with God. I need to hold God this year. Like, I've always been a Christian. I grew up in Christianity, but the last few years I felt my relationship with God like slipping through the cracks. And this is the year that I need that not to happen. Like, I need to fix all of that. Like, I need to hold, like, this year is me and God like this. Like, starting with not missing, like, there's one thing I told myself that I'm not going to miss a day of church this year. 52 Sundays in the year, that means I'm going to church 50, like all the whole 52 Sundays in the year, sometimes even midweek. Let's see. But definitely every Sunday I'm making it to church, like, no matter what. And that's why I'm even happy, like, I just started going to a church that has services at 11:30, because the number one reason that used to make me miss church was sleep. Like, I don't play with my sleep. And sometimes I stay out late on Saturdays, or yeah, I'm watching something late on Saturdays and I want to sleep in on Sundays, or yeah. And then I now go to a church that has 11:30 a.m. services. So that just means, like, no matter how much I sleep in, I shall be able to wake up and make service by 11:30. Like, that's very reasonable. As opposed to before, only having one service that was like at 9, and once you miss it, you miss it. If you don't wake up early enough, you miss it. But even if I make church by 11:30, at least I've gone to church and I worship God that day and I'm fine, right? So yeah, me and God this year, Bible study, church, everything. Like, me and God this year, we're going to be like this. The last habit that I have thought of building this year is sports. I would rather do 2 hours of AMRAP than run when nobody is chasing me. Like, I'm not the kind of person that just goes out and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a running babe. Like, I'm going for a run. No. I could go for a walk, but not a run. Like, nobody's chasing me. Why am I running? Right? But I rather channel that energy into playing a sport. So right now I play flag football, which is pretty much a non-contact variation of American football. So it's like, instead of people like pushing each other and falling over each other, trying to tackle each other, we all wear flags around our waist and you just pull the flag to tackle. But I decided to take a little break from that, partly because the league I used to play in is going very semi-pro. Like, it's becoming a lot more serious than I want it to be for myself, basically. Like, I'm just here to have fun and be around the community of like people that like to play the same sports. I'm not here for all of this, like, prize money. And because there's prize money now, people are being so raw, people are getting injured. Please. I don't have money, so I don't have 5 million naira to go and do surgery. So I am thinking of taking a break from flag football, at least until I can find a more recreational way to play it and not play like in a proper semi-pro league. And I was thinking of picking up tennis. yeah, I was thinking of picking up tennis. Someone I know has a tennis community, so I was gonna just join and play tennis. I think they play tennis every week, so that would be a really really good replacement. But I definitely want to build a sports habit. I've had a proper sports habit for, I mean, the last 3 years. I think I've been playing flag football for 3 years. So it's just something I want to continue. Like, because I'm not playing flag football anymore does not mean I'm just going to just like only go to the gym and just chill, right? So I definitely want to continue that at least once a week, play sports. So yeah, that's all about like what I was doing before, why I lost my job, what I want to do next, and the major habits that I want to form in 2025 for the year to be like a bank, right? So like I mentioned earlier, YouTube is one of the habits that I'm trying to build, so you'll be seeing me a lot more on here. So in the meantime, subscribe if you want to keep seeing videos like this, and like the video, because if you like the video, then YouTube knows that you like my videos, so like it and subscribe. Yeah, so bye guys, see you next time.